Hello, welcome to this live stream on YouTube. Feels like it's been a while since I've done one of these. I've been busy putting together my new book for Audible and for Amazon. So that has taken a lot of my time. But I'm so glad to be back here with you, to be connecting with you. Of course, as always, we have Aaron, who is moderating the comments and the conversation that we're having. You can let me know any questions that you have specifically during this live stream. Perhaps it's about the law of attraction. Perhaps it's even about this subject that I'll be discussing today, this practice of gratitude. See, I've come to learn that gratitude is the great multiplier. When you are grateful for what you have now, that is a vibration. It's a vibration, or it's an energy that is emitted by your frequency to bring more of that to you. How do we get more goodness in our life? How do we get more abundance in our life? How do we attract the wanted conditions of our life? By practicing gratitude, by cultivating an inner environment through our emotions, through our feelings of what we are already grateful for. For a lot of people, well, actually most people, they go around thinking about, talking about all of the unwanted aspects of their life. They talk about how they don't have enough money, how they don't have the right relationship, or they don't have a relationship. They tell their friends about it. They talk about it all of the time. And perhaps they wonder why those conditions persist in their life. See, one of the greatest pieces of wisdom that I have learnt is that we get what manifests in our life is what we talk about, what we focus on. What we talk about, what we focus on, expands and becomes the conditions of our life. You see, when you subscribe to this way of thinking, when you start to apply this as a lifestyle, your whole world will radically transform. Now, I'm not talking about those people that try this for a week or two. I'm talking about those people that despite the challenges, despite things not totally going their way, they're committed to this process. They're committed to this as a lifestyle, no matter what. Those are the people that completely transform their life, not because they're lucky or that outer conditions are favorable to them. It's that they are commanding the outer conditions of their life deliberately and consciously. You are manifesting your reality whether you are aware of it or not. You are creating every aspect of your life, whether you are conscious rather of it or not. Because we all create our reality through the law of attraction. Now, I want this to be interactive today. I want you to join in with me so that together we can optimize our energy, that we can come together and magnify our energy. So let me know who is joining us. Aaron's going to let me know in the chat, and I'll have a look now. Who is joining? Let me know where you are from, what part of the world. I'm so grateful for you. I'm so grateful for those people that tune in almost every live stream, or they watch the replay. And they connect with this message. They connect with the energy. They use it to change their thinking. You see, when we change our thinking, our whole life changes because you are thinking your life into reality. Your thoughts, your feelings are shaping and sculpting your life. And I hear the yeah, but people that say, yeah, but I've got all of these unfavorable aspects. We can do this absolutely, and more commonly so, it's done in the negative. I teach people how to consciously create, how to deliberately create, to do what Dolores Cannon taught us, is to learn how to manipulate energy and to become a master manifester. Aaron, where have we got people joining from? Let me know in the comments. And also, Aaron, I'm sure because Aaron is always well ahead of me, he is so in tune, we'll have our first question of the day. I love to open these with questions. And while Aaron is preparing that, I wanted to read you this little blurb. When I was tuning in this morning in meditation, I never have anything really prepared until the day. And I always ask to be guided on the subject of what I'm going to talk about when I broadcast these lives. First into my consciousness came gratitude. I practiced my gratitude practice this morning, and specifically it was around my work, what I do. During the day, I'm being grateful for every aspect of my work, what I have manifested. You see, I understand that as I use gratitude today, it amplifies my tomorrow. It gives me back more to be grateful for. I want to read you this that I read this morning that confirmed the message of the live stream we're having right now. It says, gratitude is the great multiplier. Set the universal forces in motion to favor your tomorrow. Tonight before, and I want you to practice this, tonight before you fall asleep, go over your whole day in your mind and replay each good event, each moment, feeling genuine gratitude. This practice ensures that the universe will make your tomorrow a day filled with good moments and plenty to be grateful for. Say this after me: I have to cultivate gratitude. When we cultivate anything, we create a lifestyle. This has to be a lifestyle for you for it to work, which means you got to work it. All right, let's have a look, Aaron. Who have we got? We have Ali, and we have Deborah, John, Peter. Reese has got a great question. Reese asks, how long does it take? This is common. How long, right? To see results using the law of attraction. John, that depends on you. Or Reese, rather, that depends on you. It depends on at what point are you really ready to accept and to believe. This won't work for you if you are just blurting out affirmations. If we're just repeating affirmations from an app or a list, it's not going to really work for you. You have to get to a place of unbelief, of perhaps the mental conditioning. Once you create belief, now, it doesn't matter if a belief is true or not. Who knows? We have a lot of outdated beliefs when we go through the context, the neural pathways that have been developed over the years in our mind. Sometimes when we question those beliefs, we almost laugh to think that we once believed that, or we still believe something. People once believed that money was bad and that only evil people possess money. In fact, a lot of people still believe that. And yet money is one of the greatest tools to bring blessing into others' lives. In fact, without the tool of money, I couldn't be broadcasting this now. I wouldn't have been able to buy the cameras. I wouldn't have been able to have the connections, the setup to do this so that you can hear this. So money is one of the best tools. It's certainly not evil. But that is a belief that we can have. So Reese, when you go from a place of unbelief to belief, when you know it, when you believe it, it is real for you, then you will start to see evidence show up. It's energetically attracted to you. It's magnetized to you. That will confirm that belief. You'll see it in situations. You'll hear it through things other people have said. Maybe it's a story that inspires you of someone that has manifested something desirable in their life, and that will build momentum, that will build belief for you. When you go from a place of belief, and this is the highest form of manifestation, to know, when you know something, it's yours. That's the point of manifestation. Now, of course, you can still manifest at the level of belief, but when you know something, it has to be yours, and very quickly will you see the manifestation. See, we're the ones that cause the delays, the roadblocks, and only we can really remove the blocks. Really, only we can do that for ourselves. No one else can do it for you. Now, sure, I can inspire you. Others can inspire you. Dolores can and may have inspired you. That's why I talk so much about the subject of manifestation, the law of attraction, because of all the teachings that she offered, the most powerful of all, and what summarized all of what she left us as forms of wisdom, is that we are creative beings manipulating energy, and that we're incarnate at this time and space to be master manifestors. She spoke about a whole new earth, a whole new world that we ourselves are creating and manifesting. See, the new earth isn't out there somewhere. The new earth is in here, within you. And those that are ready for this, those that are ready to ascend, are cultivating an inner knowing. They're going from belief to knowing. Through the act of knowing, they are manifesting a whole new reality. Now, of course, this is why we're seeing a split happen in humanity right now. Because there are those like you, I hope, that are listening to this, that are learning these tools, that are learning to work with these laws, and you're starting to learn how to create, how to manifest, how to manipulate energy in the positive context. And then there are those that are further digressing into negativity, further digressing into the status quo. They're focusing on all of the negative aspects, how the world is getting bad, how the world is getting worse. And they're shifting in the direction of what they're focused on. See, what you focus on expands. What you give your attention to becomes your individual life. You are creating your individual life by the thoughts and the feelings that you have each and every day. See, the reality I occupy is abundance. You probably hear me get quite excited during these messages because the energy that I embody is excitable. Now, of course, not everybody's going to like that. Some people are going to criticize that. Some people are going to even call this over simplistic. But I truly believe that we have overcomplicated life for way too long. We've made it difficult because we believed it's difficult. I don't believe life is difficult. What is difficult for people is to be consistent and consistently cultivate and apply these principles. See, I work with a lot of people, and over again I see this same condition, that people are not consistent. Sure, they read the law of attraction. They read the work of Bob Proctor, Rhonda Byrne, Dolores Cannon. They love it, resonates with them because it's in line with their higher self. And yet they fail to implement the daily practices. When it comes to gratitude, you have to daily cultivate a heartfelt gratitude practice. You have to be grateful for what you have already. No matter how small or big that it may be, you have to cultivate that with heartfelt, and I emphasize that word heartfelt. You've got to feel it in here. Gratitude. Because that feeling, which is a vibration, is attracting back to you that in which is in alignment to that frequency. See, pessimism is a vibration. And when you're pessimistic, you're tuned into that frequency. Life is simply, the universe is simply going to mirror back to you on that frequency. More to be pessimistic about, more to be doubtful about. Fear is a vibration. If you have lots of fear in your life, you're only attracting more to be afraid of. I used to fear getting on aeroplanes. It was my biggest fear. Let me know in the comments if you've had that as an experience. When I analyzed why I was so fearful of getting on an aeroplane, I learned that it was really a fear of being out of control. I, like many, had lots of trauma in my past, and going through those situations, being out of control, my conscious self wanted to keep me safe. So anytime I found myself in a position where I was out of control, I would go into panic. I would have great resistance toward it. So of course, when I was on an airplane, I wasn't in control, was I? The pilot was. I had no control in that situation. In fact, I'm in a tube in the sky, probably one of the least places you can do things, up there in the sky. And so for me, it was terrifying. Why am I telling you this story? I'm telling you this story because my fear of flying, I need to fly for what I do. I need to reach people all around the globe. I've got a conference that I'm doing live in December. A cruise leaving Orlando, Florida, going through Mexico and Honduras. Now I need to fly there. I am telling you this story because I overcame that fear by not resisting it, by not putting out more fearful energy, because what you resist, as Carl Jung greatly said, persists. I overcame my fear of flying because I faced it. I put myself in planes. I got on as many flights as I could. I had to feel that fear. I had to have little practices and exercises that I would go through. One would be listening to songs that made me feel joy. And when the turbulence would hit, as inevitably it does on most commercial flights, the fear the panic would happen. I would learn to practice breathing. I would learn to use my affirmations that I was safe. You know what happened? Every single time I practiced that, every time I got an aeroplane, gradually, it didn't happen with 1 or 2 flights, by my exposure to it, the fear went. See, you have to face the fear. You have to be in the thing that you're afraid of in order to release it. If you resist anything in your life, it's only going to persist. Because whatever you're emitting as a frequency, the universe is just going to give you more of that back. If you're putting out great amounts of negativity, if you're criticizing other people, if you're highly critical of others, most likely you're going to be highly critical of yourself, because we just project out what we are. That's why I don't take much attention to any of the trolling I get online, unless it's positive or constructive criticism. Then I pay attention to it. But I discovered months ago, particularly because I've upped the amount of content I'm shared, that most of the time those criticisms really had nothing to do with me. They were just a projection of one's consciousness. What is it in your life that has held you back? Let me know now in the comments. Is it what other people have thought about you? Is it fear? Is it jumping on an aeroplane like it was for me because you felt like you were out of control? Is it relationships because you once were hurt and you're so terrified of re-experiencing that pain that you hold yourself back from every opportunity that comes your way? There is a universal law called the law of attraction. You don't get what you want, you get what you are. You get the frequency in which you are attuned to, just like a radio station. Now, if you don't like the broadcast, if you don't like the music, change the station. Change the broadcast. Change your frequency. When you change your frequency, you will have to get back what you are admitting. This is why I talk about cultivating gratitude. When you are grateful, and that is a vibration and an energy in which you are emitting outward, you have to get back more to be grateful for. When I practice gratitude every day for what I do have, I got more to be grateful for. I'm going to tell you another story. I fell over the other day really badly on my right leg. I haven't discussed this really with anybody, and I'll tell you about it now. I fell, I lost my footing. I fell on the outer part of my foot. I could hear a really hard sound. It really hurt. I hit the ground really hard on my right side. Got a big bruise all over my foot and leg. For the last couple of days, I haven't really been able to walk very well. I've been using an umbrella, or a large umbrella, as a walking stick to get around the house. Now, for most people and my old self, I would have been so angry about this situation. I would have been frustrated. I would have cursed and tried to understand why such a thing would happen. You know what it has helped me be grateful for? Rather than going into that, see, suffering is a choice. Rather than me suffering through that event, because I haven't suffered, let me tell you. It's a message to get more rest. So I was able to work. I had to have my leg elevated. I had to ice it. I had to have it laying flat. I worked from bed. I kept working. I kept doing. It gave me an opportunity to finish my book, which is in the process of publication, should be available on Amazon as a printed book and not an audio book, that is coming, but a Kindle book within the next 24 hours. it gave me greater appreciation that I have two wonderful legs. And then it gave me more gratitude for all of the wonderful things that are going on in my life. You know what? My legs are so much better today. Couple of days, it's been mending really quickly. Sometimes bad things happen. Sometimes the SHIT happens. But are you going to experience that, or are you going to shift? Are you going to use it as an opportunity to be grateful and create more to be grateful for? Or are you going to be down and depressed about it? See, I got to choose what I did with my leg. Suffering didn't come from the act itself. Sure, the leg wasn't working as it normally did. But I didn't suffer over it. In fact, I used the experience to gain more. I got my book done. I got to be more grateful and have more gratitude for my body. You know what? I've been so grateful that I have a healthy body. I have able legs that get me around all of the time. Now, although that may seem simplistic to a lot of you, but when you can't walk properly, like I haven't been able to walk properly, you start to really appreciate having legs that work. Let me know in the comments, what is it in your life that you can be grateful for? Aaron, let me know some of those comments. Aaron, what can you be grateful for? John, what can you be grateful for? Everyone here that is listening, even if it's the replay, let us know in the comments what you can be grateful for. You will find a long list, let me tell you. See, when you get onto that frequency of gratitude, you're receiving the broadcast of gratitude. That means that broadcast is broadcasting to you circumstances and situations for you to be grateful for. See, what happened with my sprained foot or twisted foot, it brought the completion of my book that I had been not having quite enough time. Now, I was forced to really not have anything else going on. I couldn't go to the gym. I couldn't walk. I couldn't get out. So all I had was time to focus. Now I'm so glad I'm standing here before you now, and it's been half an hour already. I don't have pain in my foot, and I have a finished book that is on the way. I'm going to take a little break now. We always do this at the halfway point. When we come back, we're going to continue this discussion of gratitude. If you agree with this, give it a like, share it, comment, engage with me. And if you've got some questions, just take this moment of a break that we've got to write stuff down and put it in the comments, and Aaron will let me know the questions, and we'll get to the questions right after this little break. Okay. All right. Well, I wanted to show you just now. I did this. I woke him up from his little nap of something I'm really grateful for. And this is my little best friend, Louis. You know what? Louis brings me every day joy. He needs me, and I need him because he brings me so much gratitude every time I play with his ball, which he loves. Hey, you love playing with your ball? He brings me joy. So much that he brings to me, even when Daddy hasn't been fully able with his foot. He's been there looking after me, haven't you? So I'm grateful for my little friend. Let me know what else. We had someone else say that they're grateful for these broadcasts. I thank you for that. Robin, hello to you. Robin has said she's grateful that she's come out of religion, an old paradigm. This is the shift I discussed earlier that we're moving out of. We're moving out of this old Piscean age of top-down hierarchical control where we're largely disempowered, to discover that we have everything within us to create. You are the power that you've always sought out there through perhaps religion or God or the divine or whatever it is, people, circumstances, things. You've discovered that you are the creator of your life, that you're creating it, that you're writing your own script. I was looking at the comments just a moment ago, and of course we have people that are negative and trolling. You know what I'm grateful for is that I move past criticism, that I don't need to criticize not only other people. I learned that I don't need to criticize myself because you and I are alike in this way, is we are perfect just the way we are. And if you are being authentically you, you are perfect. The law of attraction, like the law of gravity, is always working. You don't throw a apple into the air and wonder whether the apple will fall to the ground. Every time the law of gravity is going to do its work. Likewise, every time the law of attraction is going to magnetize back to you, not what you want, what you are, what you are admitting, what you are vibrating at, what your frequency is. You are the most powerful magnet in this universe. Now, it doesn't matter if you believe that or not. It doesn't matter if it's positive or negative. The law of attraction is simply magnetizing and responding to you, whether it is positively or negatively. This is why I encourage you. This is why I get on here and help you gain the perspective that you can consciously create. See, we can't just listen to a message like this once or twice. We need to live it every day. I was listening to the great Bob Proctor last night in a new audio series I downloaded. He's passed on now, passed away in 2022, and had a legacy of 60 plus years of sharing around the law of attraction. He's a great pioneer, someone I aspire to continue a legacy like that. And he had a book called Think and Grow Rich. And every day he said he read that book. Every day he was applying the principles of that book to his life for 60 plus years. He reminds me of something that's so important. We need to hear it and hear it and hear it and read it and read it and read it because we need to become it. This is why this never gets old. This is why I'm on 4 days a week talking about gratitude, talking about the law of attraction, talking about Dolores Cannon and manipulating energy and consciously molding and crafting to remind you. Sure, it's not rehearsed, so every time it is different. I'm doing that. I'm staying focused. I'm living this for myself and for you because we are creating together our reality. Those that are on this wonderful journey, we're shifting into a completely new paradigm, a new world, a new earth, where we are the architects. See, someone else isn't going to do it for you. You're either moving with this momentum, or as Bob Proctor said, you're stagnating and staying and probably digressing into something more dense. Because we're living in times right now that there is this huge separation that is occurring between the negative and positive. That's why you can look out into the world, you can read the news, and you can see evidence of how that is happening from a negative aspect. But those of you that think like me, that act like me, that live like me, aren't moving down that trajectory. We're moving, we're ascending, we're raising our frequency, we're raising our vibration, we're tuning into a different station and frequency and broadcast, and we are elevating and creating consciously. We live in an abundant universe, and there is no lack or limitation. The only lack and limitation really that there is that which you set for yourself. And you can have anything you want, but first, as Reese said before in his question, and I said this in my advice to Reese, is you have to believe it. If you don't believe it, you will never receive it. That is why Bob Proctor read and reread for 60 years the same book, because he needed to be the principles. He needed to be those things in order to create the outcome. This is not easy. But I used to live in depression and anxiety, and that was far harder for me. Sure, this takes discipline. Sure, this takes consistency. Sure, this takes dedication, but the dedication pays great dividends. Say I am infinite awareness. As infinite awareness, you are infinite. There is no cap. There is no limit. You can have anything you want. But as infinite awareness, we have to focus, and we do focus through this physical body. You're not your body, you have a body. You have a mind, you're not your mind, you have one. And when we reprogram this mind through daily application, through practices like gratitude, we rewire our brains through the process of neuroplasticity. And we begin to get different outcomes. This is why people can heal their bodies. This is why people can create the most phenomenal abundance that have come from nothing. How is it that someone can be born into poverty and become a millionaire? How is it that someone can have a terminal illness and be alive 30 years on? Now I can quote numerous occasions where this is happening, that happened to people I've worked with, that I'm aware of, that I've heard about. What is it that you really want? Is it perfect health? Is it a relationship that brings you joy? Is it abundance? Is it freedom from the lack and limitation that you've received in the past? Whatever you want, you can possess. Whatever you want, you can manifest. You have to, though, be clear with what you want. If you're confused, you get confusion. Because whatever you admit, you get back. Everything is a frequency. And you're broadcasting your life. Your life is being broadcast on the screen of this physical reality. Now you are projecting it. Whatever you see on that screen, whatever plays out, you are directing this. You're producing it, you're acting it. Now Dolores Cannon taught us this. She drew upon the wisdom that others had tapped into, that Shakespeare had spoken about, which life is a play, an illusion. Some of the ancient wisdom traditions spoke of this reality as Maya or illusion. There are books that have been written about this being a simulation or a projection. So many different wisdoms are pointing to the same truth, that this is ultimately not real. The only thing that really is you. Who are you? Infinite consciousness, infinite awareness that is having this experience that you call Robin, that you call John, that you call Reese, that you call Aaron. And as infinite awareness, there is no lack. There is no limitation. There is no cap on this, only that which you set for yourself. Doesn't that give you reason to be optimistic? Doesn't that just sort of ignite you and bring you joy and put into perspective your life when you believe that? You see, because I believe that, and I'm moving to a place of knowing it in every aspect of my life, I'm so optimistic every day. I know that each time I do one of these broadcasts, they build in momentum. More people share them, more people like them, more people resonate with it, and it goes out further and further again. What is it that you're meant to be doing? What's your contribution? What's your soul's purpose? What do you incarnate to do as infinite awareness? Now, we all have specific roles to play according to the contracts that we have written at a soul level. And a lot of people I work with don't even know what their soul's purpose is. They haven't even discovered that for themselves. Dolores Cannon called this the universal question, or the eternal question is, what is my specific contribution to the collective? That's a great place to start for people. Let's get to another question, Aaron. I'm going to get to your comments here. Dan says, we are mind, body, ego, illusion, and we are awareness. There's been a lot of discussion about AI, or artificial intelligence. I was having this conversation with Aaron the other day. We often so identify with our mind, our brain. We think that we are our thoughts, we are our mind. We're so focused on the thoughts that we think that we become the thoughts. And of course, those thoughts become our reality because we're creating it as infinite awareness. But you are not your mind and you are not your brain. You have a mind, you have a brain, which you are focused on in this incarnation. What is the brain? What is the mind? The mind, the brain is a tool. What is artificial intelligence? I use it as a tool to do the work that I do. In fact, I've used it more and more recently because it's helping me get things done more quickly. As infinite awareness, we have an abundance of tools at our disposal, including your mind. Why would we fear something when it's not really us? You are infinite awareness. You aren't even susceptible to decay or death. You transcend it all. See, people focus on the negative and think that AI is going to take over. How is AI going to take over infinite awareness? It is not bound by any condition. It's not bound by the laws of the physical world. It transcends it. It dreams up the physical world. See, this is the illusion that we so identify with that we believe it. We believe the story, we believe the narratives, and we forget who and what we truly are. Say and believe with me, I am infinite awareness. I'm not this body communicating with you now. I'm not this voice. Isn't it easier to accept that? Then you don't have to identify with either the positive or the negative that comes with that. See, I don't personalize any of the criticism because I know I'm not what someone is projecting, whether they like the physical or not. I know I'm not it. I'm animating it. I'm using this mind and brain to create as a tool what I'm here to do. And that is my specific contribution. Now, every day I wake up in the morning, and this is back to gratitude. And I hold what I call a gratitude rock. It's a nice stone. And I hold that rock in my hand. And vibrationally I send into that rock. And it's a tool that I use, a reminder of all the things I am grateful for. In fact, this morning when I did it, I was grateful for Louis. I was grateful for my legs. I was grateful that I had this opportunity today to send out this message. I was grateful when I got the confirmation that I was going to share on the subject of gratitude. Because you know what? As I'm sharing this, I'm getting reminded, I'm stirring myself up. Hopefully you're getting stirred up. And then you will attract more to be grateful for yourself. What a blessing that I have all of this wonderful equipment that has come in, that I've attracted into my life, to be able to do this in real time. I got a little studio at home. It wasn't even just 10 years ago that this wouldn't be possible to do this like this without millions of dollars and huge production teams. And we're just a little itty bitty at the moment team, me and Aaron, that are producing this. We've also got a great team of partners like Robin, who is tuning in, that partners and donates to this. If you believe in this and you want to help support us, you can be a part of that by partnering with us and being a part of this team. Boy, am I excited about what we're creating. We are reaching millions of people here on YouTube and have reached, I lost count, something like 20 million. You can find it in the analytics here on YouTube if you know where to look. You see how many people have heard this content, have been touched by this channel. Now, I manifested it from 2 followers. I remember I had 2 followers and I was putting out these videos and it seemed such a waste at the time. Putting all this work in and refining it. But you know what? I knew something inside. I knew it. That this was meant to go out and touch millions of people. And you can see it here on YouTube that has happened. I am grateful for that. I am grateful that I am creating everything in my life, including you that comes here and receives. What are you going to do with that? What are you going to do with what you have been given? You might say, yeah, but I don't have what you've got. I don't have the skill set. You know, when I first started communicating, I had no idea what I was doing. I would stumble upon my words. I would shake. I'd be nervous. Through the repetition, through the consistency, through the tenacity and commitment, and, mind you, the huge amounts of disappointment that inevitably happen, and Aaron will testify to this. So much disappointment, so much letdown, so many opportunities that didn't quite go the way that we wanted it to. But we didn't give up. We stayed focused. In the face of adversity, in the face of all of the disappointments, we believed that we could do it. And because we didn't give up, that's why we're here. I know some of you have been facing situations in your life where you're just saying it's pointless. There's no point. Doesn't work. It didn't work for me. If I had given up, if Aaron had given up, we wouldn't be doing this today, and you wouldn't be hearing these words. Let my story encourage you to keep going, to keep creating, to keep focused on what you want. See, we got to focus on what we love. If we're focusing on what we love, and it might be small things in your life, it might be that you just love having somewhere to live. Sure, it might not be a big enough house or the ideal house, but you have somewhere that keeps you warm, that keeps you sheltered. And if you will use that perspective and that lens to start seeing your life through, life is going to start to present you more to love. When you emit a frequency of love, you get more things to love because you've tuned into the love frequency. You're tuned into the love vibration and you get love back. I'm going to get to another question. Aaron, will you line up the next question that someone has asked? And take a sip of water. Keep myself hydrated. It's important. Okay, wonderful. Robin has said, thank you, Paul. I am grateful for your commitment and your love and for the truth. I am incredibly grateful to you, Robin. We've worked together personally. You've been in some of the workshops. You've been in the masterclass series, which we've got another one coming up for August and September. I'm grateful for you. I'm grateful that you haven't given up, even in the face of your own adversity. Coming from religion where you were heavily disempowered, despite those challenges, you found your inner strength. You found your voice, and here you are partnering with this wonderful community. You've let go of the traumas of the past. You've used them as lessons to learn from, to grow from, and now you're creating a whole new life for yourself. So I'm grateful to you, Robin. All right, what else have we got here, Aaron? Albert asked, how do I maintain a positive mindset when faced with challenges? Well, like I've just shared, Albert, we don't give up. Challenges are inevitable. Let's be honest. I don't know anyone that isn't challenged. The very nature of existence, the very nature of any species survival is challenge. It's how evolution happens. It's how growth happens. In fact, if you weren't challenged, you wouldn't grow. Because growth comes from challenge. The question is not are we going to be challenged? The question is what perspective, what mindset are we adopting? And are we using the challenge to either grow or retract? See, we're going to be challenged. I broke my foot, or twisted it, or sprained it. Challenging, painful. Sure, I didn't want that experience, but I used that experience to do something that I wanted to get done. And that is my book. And now it is going to be released in the next few days. I used that challenge to cultivate more practices of gratitude. You know, I felt better in the last couple of days than I have in weeks. Now, that seemingly challenging situation benefited me. Now, most people would be irate, depressed, upset. I can't get out of bed. I can't walk properly. And yet, suffering is a choice, isn't it? Because I chose to not suffer. I have no pain today, and I have a finished book on the way. So I am grateful for that experience. I didn't necessarily choose it. I don't think anyone would choose unfavorable events in their life, but they do inevitably happen, even for me. It is how we use the situation either to discourage us or propel us forward. Boy, did it propel me forward. Boy, did I work hard last night to finish my book and to learn and how to put it on Amazon. There was a lot of technical aspects to that, and I got it done. Finally finished it, and it'll be available as a printed copy. You can get it on Amazon. John has said, thank you, and everybody that is putting the work into building our awareness. Yeah, we are a team, and we need each other, and we are building something quite unique and quite special. It's a new reality. And great people like Dolores Cannon and Bob Proctor and Wayne Dyer and Louise Hay and others that have gone before us that have laid the foundations for us to now build the structure. I'm so blessed and excited that we're living in a time where we get to create a whole new reality. I'm not focused on the negativity of the world, because that world is shifting into a different frequency, into a different vibration. See, this shift that Dolores Cannon spoke about was all about energy, all about vibration. They're both synonymous, energy, vibration, synonymous with each other. It's a shifting of energy. It's a marked shift between those that are vibrating towards one frequency and vibration and those that are ascending and evolving to a new one. Where do you sit? Let me know in the comments. Are you holding on to fear? Are you holding on to the past? Are you holding on to unforgiveness because you're terrified of being disappointed again, of being hurt again, and so you're sticking to what feels safe? Is the past, which doesn't even exist anyway, by the way, it only exists in the memory of your mind, is that worth staying safe? I'll end with this. One of the things I used to do, some of you will relate, I didn't like getting what I call my hopes up. So I kept myself into a relatively pessimistic place because I didn't want to get disappointed again. I didn't want to get my hopes and my energy up to only be disappointed. So guess what? I started to create more to be safe about, more to be disappointed about, more delays, more obstacles that I had put in my own way. Who cares if something doesn't work out? You keep moving. Sure, you're going to stumble, like I literally did the other day and twisted my foot. But you know what? I'm not going to let it stop me. My foot healed in 2 days. And I'm stronger, I'm more optimistic, I'm more excited, I'm more stirred up than I've been in months. What is it in your life that perhaps has held you back? Let it go. You don't need it anymore. You can let it go. You can be free, and you can have anything you want. I'll see you tomorrow, probably around about the same time. Much love. Namaste. I'll see you soon.